Oh, hello. Let's talk about number 3 from Formal Write-Up 2.4. So we got a square and a rectangle, and they have the same perimeters. So that sounds important. They have the same perimeters. The length of a side of the square is 4x minus 1. The length of the rectangle is 2x plus 1, and the width of the rectangle is x plus 2. Okay, so the length of a side of the square is 4x minus 1. So all of these here are 4x minus 1s because the square has all 4 sides same length. And a rectangle, the length is the long one, so that's 2x plus 1. And the width is the short one, so that one's x plus 2. And so the question is, well, one, do we know how to find the perimeter? Well, the perimeter of a square is add up all the sides. Same with the perimeter of the rectangle, add up all the sides. But with a square, you can do 4 times the side length because they're all 4 the same. So here we got perimeter equals 4 times 4x minus 1. That's perimeter of the square. And then the perimeter of the rectangle. Let's see, we got an x plus 2 down here. Then this one up here is also x plus 2. On the right side, 2x plus 1. There's another 2x plus 1 over here. So we got 2 of these plus 2 of those. So the perimeter of the rectangle is 2 times 2x plus 1 plus these 2. 2 times x plus 2. So this is an expression for the perimeter of the square. This is for the perimeter of the rectangle. And we are told right here that the square and the rectangle have the same perimeters. So I can set these two equal to each other. So 4 times 4x minus 1 equals 2 times 2x plus 1 plus 2 times x plus 2. Okay, so now we're back at one of these big equations that we need to solve. So we're going to need to do some distributive property here. Anytime you got a number multiplied by a sum or a difference inside parentheses, you got to use the distributive property and multiply that number by each term inside. So 4 times 4x is 16x. 4 times negative 1 is negative 4. And then we got 2 more over here to distribute. I got 2 times this sum and 2 times this sum. So 2 times 2x is 4x. 2 times 1 is positive 2. Plus 2 times x is 2x. And 2 times 2 is positive 4. Alright, so now I got an equation that has, for one thing, it has x on both sides of the equal sign, and it has on this side of the equal sign, I got x in 2 different places. So I need to combine like terms on this side. The left side I'll kind of leave alone for this step. 16x minus 4 equals, and then 4x plus 2x is 6x, and then 2 plus 4, those are like terms. 2 plus 4 is 6, so plus 6. Then I still have x on both sides. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to subtract them off the side where there's fewer of them. So 6x is less than 16 of them, so I'm going to subtract 6x from both sides of the equal sign. And I'll just write them under the like term that they would actually get combined with. So 16 minus 6 is 10, so that's 10x minus 4 equals 6x minus 6x is 0, plus 6 is 6. Then I'm looking at the x, and what operations are happening to x. Multiplication by 10 and subtraction by 4. So I need to do the opposite of those. And we get rid of addition and subtraction before we get rid of multiplication or division. So the opposite of minus 4 is plus 4. So plus 4 once on the left side of the equal sign, plus 4 once on the right side of the equal sign. And I'm going to put this here. So that's going to be 10x and 0 is just 10x. And then equals 6 plus 4 is 10. So then, now the only operation left on x is times 10. So the opposite of that is divide by 10. So divide the left side of the equal side by 10 and the right side by 10, and you get x equals 1. Which means if you plug a 1 in here, and I'll show you why I don't really love this problem and why I'm showing you another problem just even better in just a second. If we plug in a 1, 4 times 1 is 4, 4 minus 1 is 3, so the sides of the square are all 3. 3, 3, 3, 3, 3, 3. If we plug it in here, we get x plus 2, well that's 1 plus 2 is 3, and then 2 times 1 plus 1, that's 2 plus 1, that's 3. So they're all 3. So this was kind of a jip of a problem because it's really, they're the same stinking square. Which is why, right here, I'm going to show you an example where they're not the same. So the length of the side of the square is 3x minus 7. And the length of the rectangle is 2x plus 3. The width is x minus 2. Perimeters are equal, so I'm going to set the perimeters equal. Perimeter of the square equals perimeter of the rectangle. Perimeter of the square is 4 times the side length. So 4 times 3x minus 7. And that equals the perimeter of the rectangle, which is 2 times this plus 2 times that. So 2 times 2x plus 3 plus 2 times x minus 2. Distribute. 4 times 3x is 12x. 4 times negative 7 is negative 28. 2 times 2x is 4x. 2 times 3 is 6, plus 6, plus 2 times x is 2x. 2 times negative 2 is negative 4. Combining like terms, I get 4x plus 2x is 6x. 6 minus 4 is positive 2. And then on this side, we're still 12x minus 28. And then I'm going to subtract 6x off both sides to get the x's off of the right side. And then in the same step, I'm also going to get this negative 28 off of the left side. The opposite of negative 28 is add 28. So I'm going to add 28 to both sides. And what does that do for me? That becomes 0. That becomes 0. And I got 12x minus 6x is 6x, and 2 plus 28 is 30. And then 6 times x, I just got to divide both sides by 6, and I get x equals 5. Alright, so what does that mean as far as my side lengths up here? And I need to find the area of each figure now. Alright, well, so how long is this side? It's 3x minus 7, so that's 3 times, I know that x is 5, 3 times 5 minus 7, so that's 15 minus 7, which is 8. So the side lengths of the square are 8. Well, let's find out the sides, the length and the width of the rectangle. So for the length, that's 2x plus 3. That x is 5, so 2 times 5 plus 3, that's 10 plus 3. So the length is 13. And then the width is x minus 2, so that's 5 minus 2, which is 3. And then you can double check, right? Well, what's the perimeter here? It's 4 times 8, which is 32. So the perimeter of the square is 32. And then if I add up 13 plus 13 plus 3 plus 3, 13 and 13 is 26, plus 6 is 32. So the perimeters are equal, but what are the areas? Well, area of a rectangular shape is just length times width. So for the square, it's going to be 8 times 8. So the area of the square equals 8 times 8, 64 square units. And then the area of the rectangle is 13 times 3, which is 39 square units. So even though they have the same perimeter, they have different areas. Well, that's a trip, right? So that got x was 5, and then the areas are 64 for the square and 39 for the rectangle. And JT loves it.